Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I'm bringing you guys a combo tutorial and hand test video on how to play Scareclaw. This is a really cool deck. I just profiled this last week and figured that it was a good time to actually do a little bit of a combo video, just so you guys can sort of see how the deck flows. It's super duper easy once you kind of get down how it goes. It kind of just sort of depends on what you end up getting in your opening draw. It does run really similar to like how Crusadias and stuff like that runs, but overall just still has its own general playthroughs, and just depending on what you have, you can go into really cool things like negates with Naturia Beast, or just other interruptions like with Bamboozling Gossip Shadow and whatnot. So we are going to go for a little bit of a shuffle of the deck, and we will get right into it. Obviously, our main goal is to go into the big boss monsters, Scareclaw, Tryheart. But we can sort of see whatever we can do with whatever hand we open with. Oops. The main card that we definitely want to see in our opening hand is our Rescue Cat. If we can see that, then we are really good to go, but if not, we can just sort of make things up as we go and just sort of make a combo happen. So we're going to go ahead and take 5 off here for our first test hand. We have one Scareclaw monster, which is awesome, one copy of Scareclaw Straddle, just a 1 of in the deck, our one Rescue Cat, which is awesome, Call by the Grave, and a Scareclaw Acro. So this is actually like a perfect hand because this shows us right here, we have the Acro and the Astros just for more extenders. We have Call by the Grave for protection from Ash Blossom and stuff. Obviously the Rescue Cat, which I mentioned, and then the Scareclaw Straddle is just going to give us a little bit of protection. Alright, so with this being our opening hand, we are going to start off with our Rescue Cat. We will use the Rescue Cat's ability to tribute itself off, and then we're going to be able to get 2 of these Scareclaw monsters, or just any 2 beast monsters that are level 3 or lower. So we're actually going to go for the Astra, which is just one of the monsters that we have in our hand. And then we're going to go for the Valeraphon. So we'll take the Valeraphon out of our deck. Valeraphon is just in here to go into Naturia Beast, which is just a great play to be able to go into, which is kind of how we'll end our turn. So I like going for one of the monsters who we already have. That way we can, like, you know, just we can special summon them out to the field and it really just doesn't matter. Or if you want to just like pull one of the names out of your deck in case you have like Pot of Desires, you can always do that as well and go for like the last one. What is it? Balone. So what we're going to do now is we are going to special out our second copy of Astra. Just so you guys know, all of the Scareclaws have the ability to special summon themselves out onto the field to an adjacent zone that a Scareclaw is in, or to the same column, so like up or down, left or right. So we are able to put the Astro here, and then go into the next column over. And then we can link away this guy to be able to go into our Scareclaw Lightheart. Then Lightheart is going to go ahead and search for our field spell. So we'll pick one of those up. Honestly, ever since doing the deck profile, I've been considering knocking down the field spell to 2 copies or even 1 copy in the deck, because you do see this so consistently, and it just really sucks to open with this card because there is a direct path to be able to search for it. So anyways, we're going to go for the Primitive Planet. We'll activate that and search for our Reichheart. So we should have a Reichheart right there, and we will add that to our hand. Then we are able to special summon out our Acro. And then along with that, we might as well go into Bamboozling Gossip Shadow now. We have summoned more than 5 times so far. Our opponent is threatening to Nibiru us. Now would be a good time. So we're going to take these 2 guys and go into our Bamboozling Gossip Shadow just to make sure that we can get that going. And then we will special summon the Reichheart into the same column as our Lightheart. And then we'll activate the effect of our Reichheart. So with Reichheart, when it's normal or special summon, you're able to add 1 Scareclaw spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Then if you have 3 or more defense position monsters on the field, you can draw 1 card. So we just wanted to make sure that we still had those 3 defense monsters on the field. So we don't need to search for our field spell, and we already have our 1 copy of Straddle. So this is a good part to good time to probably go for our Scareclaw Splash, which will just give us even like another form of protection in a negate. Or the last card to go for is Scareclaw Alternative, which basically tributes 3 Scareclaw monsters, and then makes it so your opponent is like locked out of link summoning basically, because they can only summon defense monsters. But I think I like the Scareclaw Splash a little bit better just for how our hand is looking. Usually like Scareclaw Alternative is really good if you have like kind of a bad hand and you just sort of need like a way to protect yourself on your opponent's next turn. But we have a really strong board going here, so it's good to just sort of like back it up with these 3 power, spell, and trap cards in case our opponent has like Dark Ruler no more and stuff that we can't negate. It's good to just sort of go for like a good play that way. And then also the Reichheart is going to allow us to draw 1 extra card after we add 1 card to our hand. As long as you have those 3 defense monsters on the field, you get to draw into a card. So we are getting a Rescue Cat. I actually did just notice a bit of a misplay that I did a second ago. So I am going to go back, and that'll just be, you know, instead of editing it out, it'll just be a good way for you guys to remember to always make sure that you have enough of the materials to go into your plays. So we actually don't want Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. We needed to keep our field this way. The reason for that is because then we would take these 3 guys in order to go into our Triheart, which is our main boss monster that we want to go into. And then Triheart's going to get our monsters back to the field. So with our Triheart, he's going to be able to resurrect one of our Scareclaw monsters from the graveyard and special summon it. So we will get our Astra back to the field, and then if you do, you're able to search for another Scareclaw monster, which is just crazy. So you get 1 from the graveyard and 1 back out onto the field. So we'll go for our Scareclaw Bellone. So with the Bellone, you could special this out onto the field, but I don't really... oh, yeah, we do still need to special summon this. So we will special him out onto the field. We'll then go ahead and take these guys to go into Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. So now that's the appropriate time to go into it. Sorry, I did it a little bit early before. And then we are going to take our remaining. We have 2... we have a level 2 and a level 5. They are and a level 3. They are Earth monsters. So we can go into a Naturia Beast and put that out onto the field as well. So now this is going to be our end board. So we have a way to disrupt our opponent's monster effects. He is unaffected by the activated effects of our opponent's defense monsters. And then we have Naturia Beast here as well to negate spell and trap cards, as well as being able to set Called by the Grave to the field and Scareclaw Splash, which is going to give us a way to be able to negate a monster effect, or when your opponent activates a card or effect while you have a Scareclaw monster in the extra monster zone, send this face-up card to the graveyard to negate that effect, which is just crazy. And then we have Scareclaw Straddle to be able to negate an effect that would target one of our monsters on the field. So overall, really great ending board. This is exactly how you always want to go and how you like want to end your turn. So like I said, this was a very, very optimal hand for trying to make a Scareclaw board. Alright, so we are getting all shuffled back up here. Got the Lightheart, got the Naturia Beast. I hope everything was on camera. I think I looked up towards the end of that and like you could hardly see the Naturia Beast, but I know you guys are getting the gist of it. So besides that, there's not too many other like crazy plays to like go into in the extra deck. You can just always like if Gossip Shadow lasts, or you always have your Jaja to go into your Zeus if you're trying to break boards, and you also have your Vermilion Dragon Mech to also help break boards. And then like if you can't get into like a XZ play for Gossip Shadow, you can always go into IP Masquerena and then be able to go into Avramax or a Nightmare play as well. So those are just kind of like, that's just kind of like the rundown of the extra deck. Just while we're sort of at this halfway point, we'll do one more really good test hand. Hopefully we'll get a good one. If we end up bricking, you know, sometimes that happens, and then we'll do a different one. But yeah, this deck can brick a little bit, and that's why I'm thinking it wouldn't be a bad idea, especially in the future, to knock down the field spell to 2 copies in the deck. Because right there we drew into a second copy, or our first copy, and we'll be able to search for our extra copy later. But overall, pretty good hand. We do have the Scareclaw Arrival, which is a extender as well, so that's really nice. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to... oh no, we're going to normal summon Rescue Cat, obviously. Geez, I almost normal summoned the Astra. So we'll go for Rescue Cat. And we're going to go for the same play as last time. We already have the Astra out here, but it actually wouldn't be a bad idea to go for a different name. So because we only have one name, so we've got the Astra. We'll go for the Bellone there, and then we will get our Valeraphon as well, just because we definitely want to get that pulled out of the deck. Oh, also one last thing that I forgot to mention. For those of you guys who did see my Scareclaw deck profile, I had this guy sitting out off to the side, a Dino Wrestler Pankratops, so I actually did the deck profile only with 39 cards. Made me feel really stupid. I looked like I got done filming the profile, put it up, and then like later I came home from work, and this guy was sitting on my coffee table yet, and I hadn't, I never used him for the deck profile, so I just felt so stupid. But we're going to go ahead and activate our field spell, and our field spell is going to search for our Reichheart. Obviously, we want to go for that. It's just like, it's generally what you're usually going to be searching for, unless you already have the Reichheart, obviously. Then we will link away. No, we're going to go for summoning out our Astra. I just like getting out like an extra Astra. That way we have like an extra way to... just make sure in case our opponent disrupts something, then we still have like that on the field. Like if you go ahead and link summon into your Lightheart, and then like they off of your Lightheart they hit you with like Ghost Ogre, and then now you don't have a Scareclaw monster on the field anymore. So that's just like a really good route to go for. Make sure you always have 2 Scareclaws on the field at a time. That way, like if your board gets disrupted, you're still okay. So now we get to search for our field spell, which unfortunately doesn't do us anything. So that's, yeah, just really unfortunate when you end up drawing into the field spell. But we can still special summon out our Reichheart. So we'll special Reichheart out, and then we will go ahead and get off our spell and trap search. So we will, we could go for the Scareclaw alternative here. Because then we would be able to lock our opponent out of shenanigans. We could like end on like Naturia Beast and alternative, which would be kind of cool, to be honest. Or we just go for like the Scareclaw Splash again. I think we'll go for the alternative this time just to sort of show what that looks like. So we will take the alternative here. And then we are going to, and then we get to draw 1 card off of the Reichheart, so we'll just take 1 random card, and we get a Scareclaw Straddle, so that's okay as well. So now we actually could, with like Straddle and stuff, we could go in for a play still for our Tri-Heart, which would be good. So we're going to go ahead and take all of these here. We're not going to go into Bamboozling Gossip Shadow this time, so we're going to go for our Tri-Heart. Tri-Heart is then going to be able to revive one of the guys to the field, and he has to go for a level 3 Scareclaw. So we're going to go for our Balone to the field, and then off of that we are going to search for our last of these Scareclaws, which we have not used yet. So we've used Balone and Astra. So we're going to search for the Acro. There he is. So we get the Acro to the hand, and we'll just special summon Acro directly onto the field. And then along with that, we are going to take these guys, and we will special summon out our copy of Naturia Beast out onto the field. And I'll put Naturia Beast into the center. That way you guys can totally see it this time. And then lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to activate Scareclaw Arrival in order to special summon out our Acro back to the field. And now along with this, we do have that Scareclaw alternative. So technically we don't really want to get rid of our Tri-Heart, but what we can do is we can set the Straddle, and then we can set the alternative. And then let's say that our opponent ends up messing up our board. They hit us with like Dark Ruler No More or something, and they totally wipe our board, make all of our cards, you know, like impudent. Then we can go ahead and activate our Scareclaw alternative and tribute our 3 Scareclaw monsters. And now for the rest of our turn, our opponent can only special summon monsters into defense position, which will end up making their turn basically just nothing. They can't do anything, you know, and then on our next turn, then we can follow up with another of the field spell and go ahead and search for like another Reichheart, and you have another Rescue Cat play to go for more of the Scareclaws. So overall, going in for that kind of route isn't too bad either. So you can go for the alternative, or like how we had, this was our end board here, you could have also just sort of turned these guys into Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, and instead of alternative before, you could have searched for Straddle, or just something else. So you could have had like a Splash and a Straddle on the field, and you could have ended up here still with that kind of wonky hand. You could have still ended up with a Gossip Shadow right there. So overall, it's really consistent to be able to go into Tri-Heart, Naturia Beast, and the Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, and still end on some really powerful spell and trap cards. So hopefully this video was informative for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys thought about this, and let me know if you guys have been playing along with the Scareclaw deck. And definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Click the like button as well. And if you guys want to help support the channel, Besides just watching the videos, go ahead and check out all of the affiliate links down in the description below, as well as like the Patreon and all that stuff. So would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next video. Peace.